And it's weird that we have those emotions, right? Because people don't want to feel these things, right? People, the world would look very different if you liked being sad, right? For a start, you wouldn't be out watching stand-up comedy. You'd all be out watching stand-up tragedy. Some of you I am watching stand-up tragedy.
Notice what Michael is doing in the course of telling what appear to be just rather light jokes. What he's doing is actually rather deep. He's asking us several important questions, and he is deepening the questioning as that is going on. He starts out with this question, well, why do people have unpleasant emotions? What are unpleasant emotions? Being sad, being angry, being disappointed, being afraid. Why do people have these emotions? And, when it comes to good things, we can say, well, somebody has something good because they desired it and they chose to do what would be required in order to attain it. That's not the case for unpleasant emotions. As he points out, people don't want to have these. So that makes it even more puzzling. Why are we sad if we don't want to be sad? Why are we angry if we don't want to be angry? Why are we afraid if we don't want to be afraid? Don't we have control over this? Can't we choose to not feel these sorts of emotions? And the answer that he starts to elaborate is one that leads us directly into some of the fundamental doctrines of Stoic philosophy. What's the answer that most people provide? Well, we feel these negative emotions because things don't go our way. Things go contrary to the expectations or the desires that we have about the situations that we're in. This includes not only, how things end up working out, but also what individual people do in relation to us. As Michael points out, you smile at somebody and they're rude to you. You work very hard, the economy tanks, and it doesn't do you any good. So why don't things go our way? This is, again, to get to the real crux of the issue for Stoic philosophy. Well, those things that don't go our way are things that we don't control. Where we go wrong is in thinking that we control them or that we control them to a greater extent than we do. And so he talks about the game of life itself and how it's so different than what life it truly is like. He says you could take a box and open it up and there's wonderful things inside, like a great car or a cool job, and you don't get those. Instead, you get arthritis. You don't get what it is that you want out of life. Or if you do, sometimes it'll only be for a short time. It won't fulfill its promises. It'll be damaged. You'll lose it. So the question that it's reasonable to ask ourselves then at this point is, well, is there anything that we can do about this? And the answer to that is certainly not going to be, yes, we have to control things even more. We have to somehow clamp down on life itself and make it give us what we want, make it give us the presents that we're seeking from it. What can we do instead then in place of this attempt to control all the more? What sort of attitude should we adopt? What sort of mentality should be our go-to? That's a question that we're going to get an answer from in Stoicism.